In 2016, I had the honor of being a National Geographic Lindblad Expeditions Grosvenor Teacher Fellow for a one-of-a-kind field experience in Antarctica. One of my roles as teacher librarian is to prepare students for exploring the world through the utilization of a diverse set of resources. My Antarctic expedition provided me with a number of sources to use in the classroom: photographs, videos, 360-degree images, even interviews with naturalists, underwater specialists, and researchers, all which helped me and my students make sense of all I witnessed. Gentoo penguins taking highways to and from the water in their nests, an elephant seal pup resting amidst a penguin colony, humpback whales surface feeding on krill, the variety of ice that gives Antarctica the name the White Continent. More than anything, I wanted my students to experience Antarctica and come to understand its incredible geology and diversity of life. During the expedition, I struggled with the idea of how to translate the wonders of Antarctica with my students. And then it dawned on me: storytelling. Third grade writing classes have been studying the elements of narrative writing, so story creations will be a great way for students to learn about Antarctica and the rest of the world. In this activity, students explore Antarctica's wildlife, climate, and geography, as well as the characteristics of animals from different continents in order to create a fictional story. Third graders wrote narratives in the form of puppet shows, comic strips, and digital picture books about an Antarctic animal who leaves to go to another continent to meet other animals. The story's Antarctic protagonist tries to adapt to its new environment before returning home. Students use print and digital resources from the library to seek information on their featured animals and habitats. Students applied their research to the narrative to make plot events and dialogue convincing. Students developed a deep understanding of how an animal's environment impacts its survival and why it is so important that we conserve natural habitats. The infusion of narrative writing in a captivating research project heightened students' motivation for learning about Earth and its major regions. To fully understand the size of Antarctic wildlife, which is nearly impossible through photographs with nothing to give scale, students researched the size of krill, penguins, whales, and seals before using measuring tape to get a visual of how small or big each animal can be. Students used National Geographic Mapmaker Interactive to get an understanding of the spatial relationship and distinct physical characteristics of the continents featured in their narratives. Students used data from my Lindblad expedition as well as print and digital library resources to learn about Antarctica. Students worked in cooperative groups to create a comic strip, puppet show, or digital story using my Story app. Like producing a movie, the director was in charge of making sure the group was meeting learning goals by asking guiding questions, reviewing the rubric, and sharing ideas. The screenwriter developed plot events and dialogue for the story, while crew members collected art supplies, conducted additional research, and helped create the story's illustrations. Even though students' narratives were fiction, they still integrated facts from their research to communicate what they had learned. When sharing their story products, the audience learned a great deal about a variety of species from around the world. To help nurture students' global perspectives, this lesson challenged students to analyze information and draw conclusions while creating their very own stories to present information. Before the lesson, students did not realize that there were so many magnificent species living in Antarctica. Now students are able to associate wildlife, climate, and landforms with Antarctica. Students can understand and read maps, and they appreciate the physical characteristics of regions from around the world. My expedition to Antarctica as a Grosvenor Teacher Fellow may be complete, but students' exploration of this vast planet has just begun.